Welcome everyone. In just about a week, the election will be here, but there's a good chance we still won't have clear winners until at least a few days afterwards. Now, Ed's going to have another great update with election predictions later this week, and I'm looking forward to the NAED post-election conference, but I'd like to talk to you today about the possibility of a contested presidential election. Now, this year's election is logistically unique because of COVID-19, and it's expected that mail-in ballots and early voting will play a much bigger role than in previous years. To give you a little bit of perspective, it's been reported that more than 58 million people have already voted, and election experts predict that 85 million could vote before November 3rd. This may make it the first time in American history that more people vote early than on Election Day. And one reason why this may lead to a contested election and a delayed announcement on the winner is because of state rules, including when ballots can be processed, counted, and how long after the election ballots can be received. Some key swing states are perfect examples of this. If ballots are postmarked by Election Day, for example, in North Carolina, the State Board of Elections said that they would count as long as they're received within 9 days after the election. In Wisconsin, within 6 days. In Michigan, it's within 2 weeks after the election, and in Pennsylvania, it's within 3 days, with the U.S. Supreme Court declining to overturn that ruling. In addition, 8 states can't even start processing their ballots until Election Day, including Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, and 36 states can't start counting mail-in votes until November 3rd. Now, conventional wisdom is that mail-in votes and early voting tend to lean Democratic, and you can see that this is especially true this year, with my assumption being that that's at least partially due to the more partisan divide regarding how seriously to take social distancing recommendations. And this could create a red or blue mirage on election night. There may be a red mirage where President Trump appears in the lead for states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin because mail-in ballots can't be counted until the election, while there may be a blue mirage in states like Florida and North Carolina because they can start processing and counting ballots weeks before November 3rd. The possibility of a contested election gets even greater when you consider the rhetoric of the candidates and all the legal challenges that may be brought. As I mentioned, the U.S. Supreme Court just over a week ago declined to intervene in a case from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court dealing with the state's absentee ballot deadline. However, that decision by the U.S. Supreme Court was a 4-4, with Chief Justice Roberts joining the more liberal justices and the 4 most conservative members on the other side. With Amy Coney Barrett likely to be confirmed as we're filming this, the Supreme Court ideology may shift even further. And while it becomes less likely that the Supreme Court will have as many opportunities to intervene before the election, there are still many legal battles that can happen afterwards. This may call to mind Bush v. Gore in 2000. But honestly, aside from generalizations like the Supreme Court being involved in elections, I'm not confident in gleaning much information from that time. Only 2 of the Supreme Court justices that were sitting on the bench in 2000 are still on the court, and the Bush v. Gore decision explicitly stated that their consideration was limited to the present circumstances, and therefore it shouldn't be used as precedent for future cases. Now, I hope that if the Supreme Court does get involved, the American people respond similarly to 2000. In CBS News poll conducted after the Supreme Court's decision in mid-December of that year, 60% said that there had not been a fair and accurate count of the votes. But despite that, according to a ABC News and Washington Post poll at the same time, they found that if there were an unofficial recount and Gore declared the winner, 84% would still consider Bush legitimately elected. This indicates that even if the Supreme Court effectively appointed a president against the will of the people and contradicting the Electoral College, only 16% of Americans would have found such a president illegitimate. Now, I'm not sure the same sentiment exists this year, but hopefully we won't have to worry about it. And when you all join us on November 10th for the NAED post-election conference, a winner will have been declared, legitimized, and accepted by the American people. Thanks.